We are in the kitchen with Seth Lenz. He is from Seth's Coffee and Bake Shop in Little Chute. So obviously you have some great coffee that you serve up there, but baked goods as well. What are we going to be making in this hour?
Yeah, right now we're going to make some maple pecan scones. Obviously a seasonal treat right now.
Definitely.
So we'll just get started here. We start with our flour, brown sugar, and then salt, cinnamon, and baking powder.
And how much do you want to use of each? I'm sorry.
We got basically a tablespoon of baking powder and of cinnamon, and then a half a teaspoon of salt, a quarter cup of brown sugar, and 2 cups of flour.
Okay.
Whisk that all together before you add your cold butter. And so for these scones, to make them nice and flaky, we're going to use cold butter, not room temperature or melted. And then we'll use a pastry cutter to incorporate it all.
Okay. Best part, Seth also shared the recipe. That's online at fox11online.com.
Yes. All right. So here we'll blend up and make. We're looking for getting these chunks of butter into smaller chunks. And then once that's all done, then we can add our pecans. All right. Here. And then we got a mixture here of heavy whipping cream. So it's a quarter cup of heavy whipping cream and a quarter cup of maple syrup. Obviously, it's best to get a maple syrup from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
1 egg, and then we're just gonna kind of mix that together before adding it to our flour mixture with the pecans.
Okay.
So that's gonna give you the nice maple flavor in the scone. And then after it's all mixed up together, so you're mixing it. You don't want to overmix these because you can kind of ruin the texture of the final product. But you mix it until all the dry ingredients are incorporated and no longer dry and floury.
Okay.
But basically that takes a few minutes. So I have the dough all finished right here. So what you can do, you can make scones in one of several ways really, but I personally don't really like the whole rolling it out and cutting it into chunks, although it may look a lot more consistent from one scone to the next. I just personally like to form them myself. So I'll take our finished dough, form it into, you can do squares or little balls or whatever. I just like the oblong triangle.
Okay.
Put a couple of those on your sheet pan. And then for these scones in particular, I have tried them. We tried them with some white chocolate chips mixed in. That's really good too,
Yeah.
if you like a little bit sweeter, because these are not the sweetest scones in the world.
Okay.
So we got our scones there, and then this is our glaze that we're actually going to brush over the top. And this is, again, this is just it's a tablespoon of heavy whipping cream and a tablespoon of maple syrup. So once we got that kind of like mixed up, we can use our brush just to like brush the glaze right over the top before you bake it.
Okay.
And that'll give it a little bit more of a shimmer and that extra sweetness right on top there after it's all baked. And they bake for only 12 to 14 minutes at 425 degrees. And they end up looking a little something like this.
And you can have a nice cup of coffee with them in the morning. Let's share some pictures, Seth, that you sent me of your place in Little Chute and also your family as well. I mean, there are some really cool pictures of the inside, you know, kind of showing people what the feel is there.
Yeah, we have a little bit more of a unique layout as far as where our bar is. So we have all of our coffee preparation happening right in the center of the main seating area. That's to break up the seating. So there's a lot more availability of private seating areas for you to not feel like you're sitting right next to somebody else if you want some time to read or whatnot. But yeah, it's a cozy place. There's lots of places to be comfortable in there.
Have a great cup of coffee, enjoy a baked good. Go to our website to learn more about Seth's Coffee. Thank you so much for being here. Recipe is also online. Good Day Wisconsin will be right back.